This is Unglamorous Truths with the Downtown Girls. I'm Chandra,
I'm Crystal.
I'm a Mebit.
and today we are going to talk about dream jobs. So I'm going to start by asking, what were your favorite struggle jobs? Like anytime anyone's pursuing acting or writing or just really anything in this industry, that shit does not pay for a long time. So you must have a struggle job unless you come from money, which is great. But we don't. So favorite struggle jobs. So mine, funny enough, was, man, remember when we were tutoring out here?
Mm-hmm.
And I was not a very good tutor, but because there was a lot of people need help with math, and I am horrible at math. You know what I'm saying? And at one point, I was tutoring this eighth grade girl in math, and so I would literally have to ask her what's coming up next, and then go Google it and learn it.
Like a parent.
You know what I'm saying? I started feeling so bad because I'm like, I know this girl is not getting better in math, fucking with me. But I love that job because I had some of the most delightful children. Like, I just went to kiki with the kids and just like, and they just liked me so much and just, oh, you're so cool. I want to be like you. And it just made me feel good. Yeah, I love those kids. And I think about them all the time. I'm like, where are they now? And, a lot of those jobs did have to let me go because, again, I didn't know math. But I loved it. It was flexible. It was.
Right. That is beautiful. Yeah, tutoring was very stressful for me. I like the anxiety of like jamming it all in that 1 hour and making sure we got it done and making sure I was right. No, you got that. I had a lot of jobs. I was teaching double dutch. I was doing a lot of stuff. But in my stint as like waitressing, my favorite job was when I was a banquet server at the Gramercy Park Hotel in New York, mainly because it required the least amount of talking. Like, it's literally dead ass. Like, I didn't have to engage. I literally could be like just carrying trays and not have to I don't have to ask you what you want. Like, you're getting things from off my tray. So I don't have to memorize anything, no orders. It just is moving through the day. And it just flew by. And sometimes those parties were really fun. I mean, these banquets were very expensive. Like people's weddings.
Hell yeah.
I ate good.
I feel like you used to bring shit home all the time. Candles, yeah.
Beautiful flowers.
That's the one thing people don't think about when they're like throwing like weddings or like engagement parties.
Yes.
Like all that money you spend on flowers just for them to be left at the fucking tables and for people like me to take them home.
Yeah, I know.
Thank
I
you.
did it. I paid that. Carry on. It's upsetting.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So
That's
we had flowers nonstop in the
Yeah.
apartment.
That was a good job for the whole family.
Yeah, beautified the
Good job,
home.
man.
Thank you
Good job.
for your contribution. Yeah, it's funny because we all have jobs that we loved and the other didn't. Because when I did serving more like banquets too at the Standard for the Boom Boom Room, it was cool because there was so much food left over. I mean, excessive amounts of lobster like in the kitchen. By the end, they're like, anyone want this whole lobster? And I was like, yeah. However, I hated that job as well because they did treat us like slaves and they made us wear these uniforms that looked like peasant
I remember
forms.
those. Yep.
And
yep.
they didn't allow us to take bathroom breaks for our entire ship. And there was no breaks. There was no actual breaks, but you had to beg to go pee. Like, I remember I'd have to beg my manager. I was like, could I please go to the bathroom? Because they didn't let you go to the bathroom with the common folk. You had to go down to the basement just to pee. So they didn't want to let you off the floor.
Oh,
So
wait.
Yeah,
Y'all really had a servant's restroom?
We had a servant's restroom, bitch. I had to take an elevator 3 floors down just to pee. So they didn't like you leaving the floor because they knew it would take like 10 minutes just to go and come back. And I was like, but you can't do this to me. Like, I'm just pouring water. I gotta go. Anyway, that was my worst job. But
Yeah, get to the
my
good one.
favorite
God
job-
damn.
My favorite struggle job was working for Seamless. So right out of college, I worked for Seamless Web.
Yeah.
And Seamless, if for y'all, if you know Seamless, it's now Grubhub. They acquired Grubhub. Proud of them. And at the time, Seamless was not public. It was literally only corporate, working with corporate investment banks in New York, sending them food with like restaurants in the city. And then it was just like private. So I was dealing with like the investment bankers on Wall Street calling in about their allotments for meals that they would get. That wasn't always very
So
fun.
these people had accounts.
They had accounts. They got 3 free meals a day. Those motherfuckers got free meals a day. Those bankers on Wall Street.
Oh, see, I always rich
Back
people
in
get the
08.
free shit.
They get
free, but they pay monthly. Like
no. It's part of their job is they get a free lunch, breakfast, and
Oh,
if they
their
stay late, a
company.
dinner.
for the employees, but
Yes.
the company is paying for
Of course,
this.
of course.
Oh, yes.
Company
Okay.
accounts, employees, free meals. Yes, of course.
Okay.
No. Seamless wouldn't go for that.
Yeah, I was
But
like-
so I've actually I was customer service. I dealt with someone from NYU that went to Stern. So someone called in and I was like, hello, Seamless Web. And then I pulled up their account and I was like, wait, we graduated the same year and here you are making all this money with your free allotments and I'm helping you with your food service. Wonderful. But the good part about the job was I too got to eat free. We got free meals a shift.
Yeah.
So that was great.
That just made me think. It always felt like the darkest. It felt so traumatic when somebody from school, like from your day life, would, see you working your
my
struggle
God.
job. Like when I was working bottle service, that happened to me twice. A person from NYU, two people from NYU saw me. And I'm in a corset and shit. That's not really my usual MO. And it was just like, oh, oh, you a wild girl. And it's like, no, well,
Chandra.
for hire. And then also a girl from my high school saw me, and like definitely in high school. I mean, I had locks. I was like very queenish. Like I was just such a different person. And like the shock on her face, like just wait, Chandra? And I was like, yes.
Somebody I knew took a picture with me at my nightclub job and posted it
my
on
God, I
Facebook.
remember that.
Remember that? And how I literally excommunicated him for my entire life because I was so pissed.
Blocked.
Right.
And I asked him to take it down and he refused. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're refusing to take down a picture of me that I didn't even consent to being on the internet.
Right. But that's important.
And you just want a picture with some to show that you be in the New York City nightclub
In the streets,
with,
right.
I guess, bottle girls. Like, take this shit down, bro.
Yeah.
I have never spoken to him since.
I mean, he doesn't deserve it. But it's to think in retrospect, like, how dare I be ashamed of doing what I needed to do
No,
to survive
right.
20.
and be in pursuit of my dream.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, the
Like, how
shame.
dare,
Yeah.
right. How dare I think of that as a deficit of my character? Like, you're not on. You're not where the fuck you're supposed to be. Bitch, you're a child.
Right. But it was also because we felt like the stakes were higher because we went to NYU and we thought we just put our family through all of this just for us to be bottle waitresses?
That's true.
What?
That's true.
I didn't need this degree. So that's a lot, to be graceful, that's where the shame came from.
Yeah.
But also, fuck that. I shouldn't be ashamed. I didn't have to be ashamed that I was paying my bills because a lot of people moved home.
Right.
And that was not an
Absolutely.
option.
And I didn't realize the extent of people being bankrolled by their parents immediately upon graduation. Like what a special gift. And
Truly.
thank God we didn't, honestly, if I had known that, I probably would have had more shame. But I didn't know that people was out here getting fucking accounts for their apartments the minute they graduated. And we were in the same boat. So I think us normalizing our struggle was made it
My
okay.
brain could not compute that.
Yeah.
I remember when one of my ETW classmates told me that their parents were paying for their entire Soho apartment. I just didn't understand what that actually meant. I thought there was subtext that she just wasn't giving. They took out a loan for you? Or how are they
Right.
getting
they
these
just have
funds?
properties.
What do you
Right.
mean?
Right. And such a different life. And I think it was the best thing that could have happened to us in certain respects because the way those having to do those jobs, having to become an adult so quick, the way we had to balance, the way we had to really hustle. And it really kind of made it clear that this was really a dream.
Yes.
Right? Because you had to put so much into it just to maintain. And when I talk to my parents now, they're like, we were always just proud that you didn't come home and you maintained. You never called to ask for shit. You just did what you had to do, and it's scary for them, but
I realized that the barrier to entry to my parents' acceptance was much lower than I thought it would be.
that.
My mom was like, I'm proud because you're happy and you're doing what you want to do with your life. And I'm like, that's it? That's enough
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
But what it was is it wasn't enough for me. So I made it not enough for her and everyone else.
Yeah. Put that pressure on yourself.
I think my pressure was definitely more of what we talked about earlier, where I just really did feel bad that I had cost my parents so much because I didn't really have a bunch of scholarships and stuff. So it was really a lot of them taking loans, a lot of me taking loans, and just feeling like, oh, fuck. Like, y'all believed in me. Like, you really, and you know, not all parents sign up for kids to go, you want me to pay how much for you to go learn to act? You finna be rolling around for $250,000? No. So I just felt like, damn, like, you guys believed in me. I owe you more. And so, you know, but now it all has worked out.
Yeah.
We've transitioned. We're in the dream job spectrum, you know. I've paid back some of those loans. Some of them, they gonna have to just go because it's ridiculous. But I was talking to my little brother the other day, who's like a very, very serious gamer. You all know this, my sweet Evan. And he had said that he does not want to work in the video game industry because he does not want it to at all affect his love for video games.
Ooh, I see.
Right? And that was just like a moment for me because I was like, oh my God. First off, he's just like the best person ever. And I'm like, you're so pure. And then I was like, damn, I'm a fucking capitalist because I never had that moment. So do you guys feel, you know, that now working in the thing that you love, right? Because as children, we all just love film and television, like everything about it. But now working in it, do you feel like your relationship has changed? Has your love changed at all? Do you even engage with the arts differently? Like, do you watch film and television differently now?
I know for me, like, I have shows that I watch for work, and then I have shows that I watch for just for fun. And when I'm busy, I often like will forget about the fun part. I'll just end up watching shit just to be in the mix of like, okay, what's going on? What's the, like, we were talking about shows you guys watched last night, stuff like that. But like, I try my best to like sometimes just watch something for inspiration and turn my brain off. I'll try my best to be like, this isn't to take notes or like critique the film, the writing, and you know, and so I almost have tears because I have like the indie art type stuff, the NYU stuff that we came up on, right? Where it's just experimental and super interesting and left field and dope, right? I love that show on Apple Plus called Bad Sisters. I think it's so good.
Damn, I don't even know this shit.
Gotta watch it.
Damn.
If you wanna refresh on some just indie dope kind of weird shit, Bad Sisters, super lit.
Okay.
Then I have turn my brain off shows that are just trash, like the entire, not trash, but you know, they have their place. Then I have the work shows where it's just like, you just have to stay up on things. Like, you have to know enough where you're taking meetings with execs where it's like, I'm in the mix enough. Like, I know what's relevant, you know? So I have like different brains for watching things.
I don't know if I can even identify the line anymore. Like, I can certainly watch shows and be thoroughly entertained, but at the same time, watch it as a writer and as an actor. Like,
that's great.
Simultaneously. Like, especially if it's like really, really good writing, I'll pause and look at the timestamp to see like, was this the act break that I thought it was in my head? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that confirmed. Okay, cool, that tracks. That's so good. Yeah, that, like, I'm able to see it but still be in it, really immersed. But I'd be like, hey, can you hit pause for a second? I want to know, like, are we 45 minutes in yet? And then be like, oh yeah, we're about that time. I'm like, okay, cool.
Ugh, that sounds stressful to me.
Well, see, I watch most things in such an analytical way, except for reality TV, which I just watch for pure enjoyment. But Everything Everywhere All at Once was revolutionary for me because I really was so immersed into it. Like, I didn't think about until the end of the movie. Then I started being like, wait, how the fuck did they do that? Because that was amazing. Like, now I need to watch it again, you know, to track what happened so I could steal all their magic and use it for myself. But usually I watch, like, I'm always like, okay, this person is the killer. It has to be the killer because storyline wise, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
I'm always picking the stuff.
Yeah, I think when I don't have the option to pause, I'm the most immersed. Like, I saw everything everywhere all at once in the theaters. So I did have moments where I was like, wow, like creatively this is incredible, but I was like, I don't have the ability to scrub through this.
Yeah.
So I have to be present or else I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah. And it's funny, Crystal, when you were talking about how, like, you just watch certain shows for homework, right? Because it's a part of your job now. So do you guys remember the first time, doing something, acting or writing actually felt like a job?
Yes.
Oh, ooh, oh, I like that enthusiasm. What was it?
Yes.
What was it?
Our first feature.
Okay.
That felt like an actual job. Like I felt like an employee, and it felt like that 9 to 5 that you hate. You're like, oh, it's Monday. I gotta do this. It was tough. It was
Yeah.
tough because it was the first job that I got paid for that I didn't create myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got hired to do. Well, we got hired.
Hired gun, yeah.
And so it made me realize how much discernment needs to be implemented in the beginning phase of accepting a job.
Absolutely.
At that time, it was really like, oh my God, someone wants to give me money. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't care what yes, I'll write it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, in hindsight, I'm like, I should have really sat with it a little more and figured out if this aligned with my voice, my brand,
Yeah.
and my interests,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not just my pockets.
And I think, in talking about that job, it's important for us to really keep it a buck and like tell the truth. Like we got fired off that job. You know what I'm saying? That was also, I mean, we did, and that was the first time we had ever been fired from something creatively anyway. So that was also like a big moment, like, whoa, God, wait,
Yeah.
shit, and even though I understood it and I agree, like, I felt like things were not aligned, what the other party wanted, we were not able to fulfill just because we didn't have an alignment of ideas. And that happens sometimes, but it still was like a jarring thing, period, and I think it was something too about when you're getting the notes and they don't align with
At
what you
all.
want to do. It does feel like a job because it's like, it's not what I want to do.
It's not what I want to do. I just don't agree. And it doesn't make my idea better or your idea better. They're just
Right.
different.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I would have been upfront about how different my idea was, instead of just yesing
Yeah.
your ideas, then we probably would have gotten to this place much sooner.
Yeah. And I think from that in particular, like, two things I took was one, that either be upfront early and be like, I don't know if I can do this, or if I'm going to do it, like, I have to really detach the creative aspect and look at this
Like a
so
job.
much as a job. Like, I am a hired gun. I am here to do my best version of your vision. I'm not here to press on my opinions, my point of view, my creative flair. Like, this
Ooh.
is a job.
That's a great point.
I don't know if that is even how I want to work.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to know that for yourself. I think you brought up a great point, Chandra, of like vision battling. That's low key what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
It was like Star Wars, just
And it was exhausting. Yeah.
vision battling. And I think because we come from a creator space, in a space where it's our projects and our babies, we don't know any other way. And I'm like, I didn't even know if I felt like we had every right to fight for our vision, because they brought us on because they wanted our vision. However, it is interesting to think about, okay, if you come on to someone else's project, especially if there's IP already attached from their history and their legacy, is that something to think about?
Yeah.
Like, do you have space to fight for your vision all the way if this is what you're being hired to do?
I think so. Honestly, I really stand by the choices that I made and the conversations that I had of like, I'm not submitting. I am not rolling over, because at the end of the day, it's my name on this. You're going to be in a credit. This is my name. It's going to be written by me. So no, I'm not a worker bee. No, my voice matters. And the mistake was me accepting the job.
That's about to say. I
That's
think
really
if that's
what
how
it
you
was.
feel,
That's
I think if that's how you
because
feel,
there
you
are other
fully
ways.
can't do the
Yeah,
job.
'cause
No, I can't do the job.
It's just like, because
It has
I can
nothing
understand
to-
from the employer point of view, this is the brief, this is what I asked you to do.
Right.
And you went, I told you to paint this room blue, and you painted this shit green.
Right. I, in my artistic process, found out that green was the best color for this wall. And I truly stand by that. But for me, and
Right.
I realized, like, this isn't my room, so I should never have entered it to begin with.
That's fair. That's fair. And if I'm being honest, I'm not a huge fan of working for people or worker bee energy either. Because, y'all, we've talked about this before. The year before, so many other people came on to potentially attach us to projects. And the way my energy goes, it just gets my energy so all over the place. And I'm in other people's energy now and trying to cater to them. And like, instead of just being from me and of me, like I always think for us, we work best when it's of us. And
Right.
it's really birthing in many ways because we know each other so seamlessly that the voice is not going to be questioned. You know what I'm saying? And so the outsider energy is like either y'all have to really let us do our thing, and maybe that's who we are, and that's okay. I don't know. We're figuring it out. But like that is an interesting conversation.
I think where that energy of just following is most applicable is in a writer's room. Because this is someone else's baby. Someone created this idea, and you are here to assist their vision. But if you're coming on board as a writer on a film, I'm the writer. You're the producer.
I think it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky.
I could disagree with you on that because it's not like they hired us to create the story from scratch. They had a movie out. There's IP out. And we can just disagree. But I think sometimes you can be hired to do a job.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they send you a whole outline.
Yeah, sometimes they'll be like, just write this.
And sometimes I kind of love when you get hired for certain stages in a movie. Because this was something I didn't know, when I first started this, you could just simply get hired to do the punch up. Like you just, get a little bit of money to just go through and write the jokes. And I've done that, and that shit was so fun. It's like, that's all I'm responsible for. Nothing structural. You just want jokes, and sometimes, it's a lot of that script just touched so many hands, those movies, because like, okay, this person didn't get us all the way where we need to be. Now this person's coming in. I want you to work on this part of the movie. Okay, that didn't work. Now this is going to this. So I do think it's a toss-up. Like, I think there's two different ways to approach, and there's like two different types of jobs.
It reminds me of this Ayn Rand book.
You love that girl.
It's blanking on the title. The Fountainhead? Maybe.
Yes.
About the two architects. One is the most talented, but the least successful. And the other one is the most successful, but, he's normal. And the difference in their styles is that the one that's just normal, he'll go to a client and he'll do whatever the hell you ask him to do. Just whatever you want. Victorian pillars on modern. Yep, I'll do it. The other one is like, absolutely not. That architecturally does not make sense. I cannot. Like, there's zero integrity behind that. I won't do that.
Yeah.
And we have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And so it really is a conversation of like artistic sensibility and like really figuring out who you are and sticking by that.
And what your capacity is too. Because I think I have met people who are like, I would just be cool to staff for forever. Like, I just want to fulfill other people's visions. Like, I love that. And I think that's beautiful. But I think for people like us, it's different. We truly want to be creators. And, doing, we're just working to get to that point, doing other things to get stronger, doing other things to learn. But like, ultimately, for us, our goal is we want to be the nigga at the top. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to be the visionaries, which is beautiful. Which is great, but it is like it's a thing you have to figure out about yourself, and it feels like it's not something you talk about before, and so you kind of have to learn it in the moment. And we had to learn it in a moment. We certainly learned it a hard way. Yeah, 'cause that was, I even think for us as a collective, was such a fraught period.
Yes,
it was so tense. Look, Crystal almost died.
So stressed. I cried in my Mexico City hotel room. I just was done.
Yeah,
I was tapped out.
So, do you think that when creative things start to feel like a job, it affects your output?
I think so. I think in the rewriting process, if it's like too many versions of a thing, at some point my brain's just like, done. I'm done. Like, I don't know what to do with it anymore. Especially in particularly that process. It was just like, again, the vision battling. It was just like, I don't even know what I'm writing anymore. I don't know. I'm out,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Yeah, that was that process, but that is not always how it works. But
No, no.
I think that it's different when I love it.
mm,
And I can't say that I loved that project because I didn't have necessarily a connection to the story.
mm,
It really was just a job. I was like, okay, I get the beats, I can write it, but I didn't have like an investment
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, creatively in it. So I think that is what makes a difference for me. And like, because even though the things that I do love sometimes feel like work, I love doing it.
mm.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
I love every tedious aspect of it because I love the project.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put in the long hours. I'm gonna put the long hours in regardless of the damn project,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. And that's kind of the flip side, right? Of when doing what you love begins to feel like a job. Because I remember when we were doing Downtown Girls, when we were developing that at TBS and writing that
Oh
and
my
like getting
God.
that. And, you know, when the first check came, I was like, oh, this is a job. I'm now a paid artist. Wow. Wonderful. But and it feeling like a job was so empowering. You know, I was like, I'm getting paid to do what I love. And I really did love like every second of it. Like even getting the notes, you know, was like because it felt real.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, like my dream has
Legitimate.
become a reality. Like, oh shit. So I think it's like there's like a really beautiful side of when your dream becomes a job
Yeah.
too. You know, and was it for you guys, was it also like in that Downtown Girls moment where it was like a positive version of that?
For sure. Because I feel like we got
Yes.
hired to be ourselves, do our thing, and just amplify what we've already been doing with money and support. So, like, amazing.
It felt the most
Yeah.
legitimate
Yeah.
out of anything because it was the first time there was like real money behind something,
Support.
support, that everyone had a role. I was like, wait, I'm not a million things.
Yes.
We got
I
to
don't
take
have
the
to I don't have to think about everything. I was like, no, there's departments for
Right.
that.
Right.
All you have to do is write.
And I think that was also a thing that we learned during that time because we were so used to having to wear all the hats and control everything and just had to learn how to, okay, I can sit back. Somebody else will do this.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
I love that. Oh yeah, I loved that feeling of delegation where they were just like, "How can we help y'all? Do you guys need anything? We'll make the calls to the studio. We'll communicate your notes for you." It was just like, yes.
Right. Right. And it's just so fulfilling. Like that's the one thing that when, you know, I talk to people or give any kind of panels and I'm like, I know this sounds so cliche and it sounds so corny, but like really just keep going, you know, because when it happens, it feels so good, but like dead ass, when it happens, it feels so fucking good. You're like, oh my God, I'm walking in my purpose. Like
Yeah.
this really is my dream job.
And there are other people here to support my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to execute my vision.
Show up for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Let's call more of that energy in.
I know,
We want
right?
that. We
Keep-
are walking
let's
in
get that in the
power.
aura. So yeah, we're gonna stay there. So I want to ask like a little fun question, and you can take like a minute to think about it. I'm gonna go first, okay? So we talked about dream stuff with the writing. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about dream stuff with the acting, because like for me, acting has literally never felt like a job. I don't know if it's because writing is like kind of like nerd work too. You know, it's a lot of sitting and
Very technical.
it's very technical and it's beautiful and it's so fun when it starts to work. But there's a lot of just fucking digging through mud to get that shit to start to click. You know, in the beginning. You know, because coming up with a story that makes sense. It's genius work, you know. I mean, we're so smart, we're so special. But acting to me, it just has never like. It just always feels like just waking up to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Like it's just always fun. Like I feel like a child again, like a kid playing dress up. So I want to know, what would you all's dream role be? And you know, be clever about this, because once you put this energy out here, it is the role that is going to come to you very soon. So don't fuck around with this. Now I will go first because I've been meditating on mine for all of my life. And the dream role is Chitara from the Thundercats. And I'm built for it, you know. I'm already cat-like. I know, look at you. You're like, what the fuck?
Don't even know.
I'm built for it, okay? People have told me that I'm reminiscent of a cat, you know, with my movements and, you know, my malevolent sense of humor.
But you don't like cats.
I don't, because we're too much alike.
Oh,
Is that what it
I don't,
is?
you know
I don't
what?
fuck
Now
with
that you have
cats.
said that,
We're too much alike, and I don't like, and so I don't trust, and I don't trust them because I know what type of time they on. You know what I'm saying? I know how they like to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? They like to fuck with you. Oh, show me you love me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna slap you. I see what they're doing, and it's too much like me, and I don't like it. I need I like a dog.
one of you in the room.
There we go.
Bitch, you know. It's only one catty bitch in my house, and it's me. So I have dogs, nice devotion when you come home.
I was today years old when I learned this.
Good.
Wow.
Well, now you know.
Okay.
Now you know.
Well, you'll love my cat in the future.
We'll see. I'll try.
Yeah.
I will try.
Mab, go ahead.
Mine, like just character type would be someone who's different. Like day life is very demure, buttoned up, and nightlife is wild. Very much like just like she leads two different lives.
That's not you.
That is me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said somebody just two completely opposite type. I was like,
that
wait a
is
minute.
me.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
that is me. Like I feel like that's why it has always been so difficult for me to nail down a type because I'm like I'm many different things, babe. Many different things. So layered. But it's a show that was like someone made a comp to me about, and I was like, oh my God, I see. Is it? What's her name? Come back to me.
I would say for me, I've brought this up before, but I love the idea of like family dysfunction. Like I wanted to be on Shameless so bad when it came out, but also there was only one black woman and maybe a biracial child on that show. But I wanted my version of that. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. And like just being in a space where it shows kind of like it's some comedy, it's some dark, it's a lot of mess. And in particular, I think that's why I love Downtown Girl so much is like whether it's chosen family getting through external obstacles together or blood family getting through external obstacles together. I think there's something that lights me up about that. Just like, okay, let's like pull resources and figure some shit out today. Like whatever that type of energy is. So
I can see it. Yeah. I see it.
Okay, I
Calling
found
it in. Calling it in.
Okay, I found it. Jennifer Gardner in The Alias.
Oh, love Alias.
Yeah.
Oh,
By
my
day,
God,
she's
you need to be a
student.
spy.
By night, she's
You
a
just
spy.
need to be a spy,
Yeah, that would be
maybe.
good for
Yeah.
you.
And a sleuth.
Yeah.
You little nosy. You little nosy bitch.
She is.
Now, I do want to note that I have fully supported you all's career dreams, and I felt a lot of pushback on Chitara from the Thundercats.
actually don't know
Actually,
the
I said
difference.
nothing.
Okay, well, we'll watch a little later, and we'll get it
said
together
nothing.
because I want
truly don't
to
know
be
what it is.
supported.
You are
in my
supported.
journey. Okay.
Chitara. Boom.
Yes.
Thank
Chandra
you.
Chitara
Thank you.
right
Sprinkle,
here.
sprinkle.
Thank you. Calling in. Okay, good. Now that they're pouring into me. Okay, so now it's time to transition and do a little segment that we like to call Broke Fabulous. And so today's hack, okay? So what is a hack for keeping the work fun and free? Because when it does feel like a job, what is something you do to keep it fun? Now, mine is very personal. I don't even really want to be giving away the magic right now of how I do it because it's so silly. And they don't even know that sometimes I have to do this. But if I feel really stuck, particularly with writing, I will just improv in my house. I'll be all the characters involved and I will I'll walk it out. Like I will do.
That's amazing.
I've been giving away my magics.
You're so perfect.
Cool.
I will do, because it just makes it like alive
you're
for me, and it's
doing
like
a
it becomes
play.
fun. Yes. So that's what I do.
Oh wow, that's so creative.
I try.
Yeah.
Oh wow, let me think about this. I literally just go watch things that I love.
Mm.
I watch shows and rewatch movies that I love, and try to forget what I'm writing so that I can really be immersed in this, like something that I think is great, and hope that it inspires me when I go back.
Through osmosis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. Sometimes you just got to shake the energy up.
Yeah, especially in like writing pilots. I like to go watch like shows that I love and like, and then I'll then go out and outline that show.
Okay.
I take the beats and as if I was in that room, and I'm breaking story of something that was on TV.
Got
That's
it.
smart.
Okay.
That's smart.
I would say for me, I usually need to just get out my head. So I'll like go take a drive. My ritual is I love going to Malibu. I'll drive to Malibu. I mean, when I'm in my peak season, I go to Malibu once a week. I'm going every Sunday and catch sunset, maybe eat. And then the other thing I'll do is I will just remove the characters and get back to me and my own pure energy so I think y'all know I do this. Like I've been doing this journaling activity now since I moved to LA. So now 5 years, called Morning Pages. It's from the Artist Way, and I just free write without stopping 3 minutes every day. And now I have so many journals. Like I have like maybe 8 or 9. So I'll
Just since you've been here?
Yes,
That's amazing.
Wow.
in 5 years, like fully written through. Like remember when we got those BGM notebooks from Gab? Mine was done in like because I just used it immediately.
Yeah.
So I write, and I like to go back to different periods in my journaling and just be like, bring old experiences fresh to life by reading them and being like, oh wow. For some reason, like revisiting different periods in my own life also gives me new energy. I don't know why, but
That's so sweet.
yeah.
It's so
Free writing is
sentimental.
not my jam.
Nah. Oh, I
I'm
love
such
it.
a natural editor in my head that it doesn't bring me joy.
Oh, I love it.
Well, we've given away all our gems, all our tricks, all our trades. I think, that is our show. Obviously, everybody send me energy as Chitara. Let's make that happen. Let's campaign for that, for me. I'm Chandra. You can follow me at Chani.
I'm Crystal. You can follow me at _Chris.
I'm Amebit. You can follow me at Amebit Bayene.
And this has been Unglamorous Truths, and you can follow us at Unglamorous Truths on all of the social medias, and you can find and listen to our podcast wherever you listen to yours.
Pop, pop, pop.
Chitara.